Hey everyone, welcome back to Letdown. Today's guest is someone who's been making serious noise in the archery world, Bruno Morin. This year, Bruno took the leap into the Senior Pro ASA division, shooting alongside guys like Tim Gillingham. Yeah, that level. He and his wife also run the Southern Canadian Classic, one of the biggest shoots in the country. We talked about what it takes to compete at that level, how the Ontario scene is growing, and what drives them to keep pushing. It's a great one, so let's jump right in.
Pow.
Hey Bruno, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, fellas?
Good.
Yeah, not too bad.
That's
Good.
Wanted to first thank you for joining us today on the Letdown.
Well, thank you for having me.
Definitely. Bruno Morin, as many of you know, runs the Southern Canadian Classic. He's been a competitive archer for quite some time. I don't know exactly. We'll get into that in a bit. And then he's also this year you made the leap into ASA Senior Pro.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I did. Do you want me to start? Like, where you want me to start?
Yeah, let's just start. Let's just start at the beginning of your archery journey. Where you when you first got into it.
I started shooting a bow when I was 32 years old. Actually, it was like a drunken Sunday afternoon at my brother's house, who used to be a real good archer back in the day. And he had this old dusty Matthews hanging on the wall, and it was like 2 inches too long for me. And he said, and I asked him about it, and he's like, "Oh," he says, "you got to try this." He says, "I'll show you. I'll show you what to do." And I hit where I was aiming on the first shot, and I was like, "Wow, I was hooked." So I went out like the next day and bought a bow, and I shot like local 3D shoots, just to help. I didn't even have a hunting license at the time.
Oh, wow.
I would joke with my brother about that I put more food in the freezer fishing than he does hunting, because we're on Lake Erie is a spectacular lake for walleyes,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, long story short, I started shooting 3D to help me become a better hunter, because he said that would help me. And in 2014, Kingsville Wild Goose, 10 minutes from my house, hosted the provincials. And I shot the provincials, and I did well in it. And ever since then, I was been hooked on tournament archery, and started building. I ended up getting second in the Triple Crown for the province in the bow hunter release that year. And then just, things started rolling from there. Shooting spots, shooting like just anything. I just loved shooting my bow, and I still do.
So shooting spots. Yeah. Can you convince this guy over here, Justin, that that paper's good for you?
It's it is. It's a hateful sport. It's repetitive, but you can't just fling arrows at paper. You gotta have purpose. Same with training for 3D. You can't just chuck arrows at a 3D target and just, there has to be purpose, but spots, I believe it to be an important part of the game. It'll make you a more well-rounded archer, and it'll help you immensely with your mental game. I think that's the biggest thing that's lacking with a lot of 3D archers is the mental game, and spots can help you with that,
Yeah, I know we actually the 2 episodes ago we were talking about the mental game, and I know for me it's one of my biggest struggles. I'm working on it. I love shooting spots. I'm like you. I just love shooting my bow. So it's as frustrating as it is, it's a kind of a love-hate thing. And I remember someone told me once, you really have to hate something to really love it, if that makes any sense, because you really need to, like, human beings are a dichotomy, right? You need to see the opposite of, you need to see the hate before you can see love. It's like you need to see black before you can see white. You need to have those comparisons. So anyways.
Mike Tyson said, train at something you hate till you love it, or something like that. Like, which makes a lot of sense. And if you don't like certain things, like, force yourself to do them, and deem it necessary. It's like a diet where you know something is good for you, but you don't want to eat it, but you eat it anyway because you know it's good for you,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like that, you know. But yeah, it boils down to the mental game and helping you with your mental game,
Yeah.
you know, spots. Yeah.
So this year you decided to step it up,
Mhm.
ASA Senior Pro class, if I got that correct.
Yeah, Senior Known Pro.
Senior
That's
No
right.
Pro, Senior No Pro. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And what kind of pushed you to do that?
Honestly, Chris, and guys, like, it was only due to the fact that I had a career change, like 4 years ago. I mean, you know, being a sales rep now, and I went from, you know, working 60, 65 hours a week in heavy construction, being a manager, you know, on a construction project, to like quitting that cold turkey basically and having this sales job that I work from home, and that afforded me the time to really get deep into the weeds and learn a lot about my bow and shooting my bow, and you know, knowing what my strengths are with the bow, right? And allowing me the time to practice to become, because I didn't, like, anybody can register in the ASA as a pro, and just pay their money and say, yeah, I'm a senior known pro. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be relevant. You know, I didn't just want to say, hey, like, yeah, this is what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. You know, I wanted to do something in it. I didn't want to be, you know, last in the class out of 80 or 90 guys. You know, I didn't want to be there. So that's what I did. I made a decision, and I worked very, very hard at it. You know, every day, pretty much without fail, I shot at least 20 at least one round of 20.
Wow.
And that's all I'd shoot. I didn't shoot a lot. I didn't shoot many arrows. It was just like, it's 20 targets or 40 targets. I would shoot one round, and then take a break, you know, an hour or 2 hours, or go send some emails, or put in some orders or whatever, and then go and shoot another round sometimes, you know. But it was 20, and I shot it for score every single time. I still have all my scorecards. That way there's no way to track progress and to track weaknesses and what consistencies are and what your inconsistencies are. Like, you know, I always, you know, on deer size target past 45 yards, I tend to, if I get punchy on it, I tend to shoot up, you know, shoot up. And if I'm shooting at an upper, that spells trouble, right? So if that happens, now I know, like, based on the data I have from my scorecards, to cut a half a yard or cut a yard after 45 yards, just to kind of protect that 10 ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So these are things you can only, you know, you can only find out about yourself and what your weaknesses are or what your strengths are in the game. And by having that knowledge, having that, it builds confidence. So regardless of tournament pressure or whatever, I have hard data in my briefcase that says, you know what, this month I've averaged 16 up on 20 targets. You know, even if a bit of tournament pressure gets to me, you know, at an average distance of like 40 to 45 yards, I'm averaging this score. I should be able to at least put a 10 up, you know, in this round, you know.
Yeah.
So it helps build confidence to keep score. You know,
so I was gonna ask you that, because I think we talked about this too when we were talking about the mental game. Does it change? Like, does it change? Does anything change for you from, you know, when you're practicing to when you're actually there on the line competing?
Well, sure, I'd be lying if I told you, oh yeah, no, nothing affects me. It's the same as, you know, in practice at home. No, you know, on a tournament, standing next to Michael Braden or Tim Gillingham, you know, shooting with those dudes, I don't have a cat going in between my legs, right? You know, like here at home, you know, or a chicken running in front of the target, you know, like I don't have that. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said the tournament pressure still didn't get to you. I think it's always going to get to you.
Right.
You know, it's always going to be there. You know, if your heart is beating, the tournament pressure is going to be there. You just got to, it helps with your setup. You know, tune your setup to be more forgiving, because you're gonna be shaky, you're gonna be punchy, you're gonna be jittery, you're gonna so tune your bow to to mitigate to help mitigate those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yep.
um yeah, but managing tournament nerves, like, it just go to more tournaments.
Yeah, it also
Put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, from what you're saying, it sounds like you kind of you have to have a plan, right? Like, even if I know you don't really know the layout when you get there, but you have to have, like you're saying, like at 45 yards at a deer target, you kind of know what you're gonna do when you're facing that, right? So it's that's what and I think it's kind of why our club wants to go to ASA this year. It kind of brings that level of competition to the game.
Yeah.
So
Shooting the middle of a 10 ring to aim at your bonus ring, there's no risk reward there.
Right.
You're aiming at the middle.
Yeah.
You hit the middle, yeah, you're good. But if you call an upper 12 at 48.5 yards on a coyote, and you're risking a 5,
right. Yeah, for sure.
You have like an inch and a quarter above that 12 ring that you're into a 5. You miss by an inch, at that distance. And I know firsthand, like, because in Russell County last year, I was in 4th place going in on day 2, like my 37th target, and I shot a 5 on a coyote, and that knocked me down to like 14th or 15th place.
Wow.
So that's how tight things are in these pro classes with these guys.
Yeah.
It's legitimate. So
let's take it back to the first one you attended. Like, what's your impression? What's your you're standing with all these guys. Like, I know I watch it on YouTube all the time, right? And I know I went to Lancaster last year, and just meeting these guys.
Yeah,
I was a little starstruck. I'll be honest. It's but
right.
But how does it feel when you're like actually with these with guys you've been watching, these guys they're pros? How does that feel?
My very first pro tournament was Foley, Alabama, in February of last year, and on day 1, in my group, like, I walk up to my stake. They don't tell you who you're shooting with. They give you a stake assignment. You go and walk there. I got Michael Braden and Mike Hulbert Senior at my stake, and like 2 very, very decorated fellas. Michael Braden's a legend. Like, the guy, he's an absolute wealth of knowledge. A legendary coach, and he's been in the business for 30, 40 years. And at first I was very, like, I was like, okay, these guys are judging me, or like, I felt like, like, it's like, okay, who did they're going to say, oh, another one of these guys that, just registered the pro class, like, thanks for your donation kind of thing. I didn't know if that's what they were thinking, but after like the second target, I drew my bow, and I was shaking so bad. This is ridiculous. So I just let down and take a breath. I'm like, and then I just turn to the guys and say, sorry guys, like, I just had to reset for a minute. He goes, so Michael Braden he goes, impure thoughts. I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah. He says, good for you, man. Take your time. And that just kind of took the edge off,
Yeah.
All these guys are so laid back. You would think, even like on day 2 of that very tournament, I shot with Tim Gillingham.
Oh, wow.
And I had him take, because the man is a giant. He's like 6'6" or 6'7", and I got to know him a little bit, joking around and whatever. And then by like the last quarter of our round, I asked him, can you do me a favor? I said, can you grab my phone and take a selfie of you and me? I said, but I want you to put your phone like way up in the air, so, because the man like absolutely towers over most people, let alone me, so he, like, my phone, I couldn't even reach my phone if you asked me to at that point, but like, these guys are, they're like, you mentioned, starstruck and stuff like that, but these are very, very down-to-earth people for the most part, and very, like, they're great guys. Like, I've made some great friends. I'm very good friends with Randy Morocco. I talked to him the other day, and he's a great guy. So yeah.
So we're here at ASA. Last was there 5 or 6?
There's 6, but
Oh, there was the storm.
there's the
Yeah.
tornado. Yeah, I think we only saw 4 this year. Yeah, no, 5. Yeah, I went to all 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to all 6 hopefully, next year.
Awesome.
I'm very, very looking forward to it.
So
Yeah.
So what'd you learn about yourself competing at that level?
Honestly, I learned that I belong there. That's
Awesome.
what I learned. Without sounding, please don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I I feel like after this year, like after the second tournament in Russell County, I was on the leaderboard most of the weekend, and I had guys in my class, my peers, that kind of like encouraging me. They're like, "Yeah, this is great. You're doing good. Keep it going." And these are guys that I'm competing against, and they're cheering you on, and it's not just like, and then having a couple good finishes after that, and taking some money home this past season in tournaments. It makes you feel good, and it just helps your confidence. Whether it be an ASA like this or, consistently winning medals in within our province at local club shoots and little tournaments. And, it helps with your confidence,
Yeah.
You go into an event and go into a tournament and, you're confident. You're not going to obviously things happen, variables, but for the most part, it helps when you have some confidence, So, but that's what I learned most about myself, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do you I know you just talked about the sort of the local tournaments and let's just call it the Canadian scene, for lack of a better term. Do you think that prepares you for that jump to ASA?
It certainly did. It helped with my confidence, locally in the Canadian scene. I've had some success in Canada, and then that it always leaves you questioning, right? You're like, well, I did this, it did leave me questioning the last couple of years before I actually took the plunge. But it's like, would I be relevant as a pro in the ASA? Because these are the best in the world at 3D.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care. What anybody says. These guys are the best in the world. At what they do, at what we love to do, which is 3D. So yeah, I don't. It's it's quite a thing. So yeah, Canadian and local tournaments certainly help, build confidence. But it just, you got to get to tournaments to help that, to get to that, to keep that confidence going. And just whether you win or you're last place, well, the next tournament maybe you're second last place. Keep building on that, and you're building something.
I didn't know
right?
I didn't know we were going to talk about my archery career.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2023 provincials, I finished dead last. So just put that out there.
In 2020 provincials?
2023, I finished dead last.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't shot, the last provincials I shot was at AIM in Muskoka.
Yeah, that was 2023.
Yeah.
I think you finished second and Josh finished, I think it was Matodi, you and Josh. I don't remember the order of who finished. I think you finished first or Josh finished
Mason.
second.
I think Mason, my boy Mason, won it.
Right.
Mason won it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't what? I don't have a provincial title. I've never won the provincials. I've won the nationals. In K50, I won the nationals, and I got second at the nationals.
Very nice.
2024. But I didn't go to the nationals last year. But I will go, I think, this year. And the provincials, especially the provincials, right? But the nationals being in at AIM this year.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're saying that they're adapting an ASA format. Hopefully it's full ASA with classes, not just Archery Canada, which they have one known distance class, and that's it. Like, so seniors and the
Yeah.
young bucks will be all together, like it has been historically. I'm hoping they're a bit more progressive,
Yeah.
instead of,
So
you know.
I'll just say this from when I attended the AGM with Valerie,
Mhm.
and because we're hosting the provincials, as you've kind of alluded to, but
Mhm.
it's weird because they said that they've always had, well, since 2023 they've had age categories, at least provincials. I don't know about nationals, and that
Okay.
they'll will be having senior 50. I don't know if I think it stops at 60, but I can't remember. I'll have to look at the rules. So, but the rule book
Right.
hasn't been updated in so long. But yeah,
Right.
I totally agree with you, because like, and because I'm 50 plus, and like I can't compete against these young guys. Like it's just not going to happen, So
Right.
I don't have.
No, we have some very, very talented archers
Oh
in our
God,
province.
we do, yeah, for sure.
Some very talented archers, and it's like a rising tide raises all ships. Everybody keeps upping their game.
Hmm.
Like it'll be interesting to see, the podiums at the nationals this year,
Yeah.
because I know there's a lot of regulars that that go to the nationals every year and
Hmm.
whatnot. But we have such strong competitors in Ontario. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree.
Mhm.
Totally. Yeah,
There's going to be more
it'll be
people.
fun this year. It'll be a lot of fun this year. It's in Ontario.
I just hope it doesn't collide with my with the ASA schedule, or even with the Southern Canadian Classic.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it will. But
Yeah, they usually do
you
the
never.
first or second weekend of August, so I'm not sure for the
Yeah,
nationals.
usually, yeah. If it's the long weekend in August, that's the first weekend. That's fine. It's ours. Ours will be, the Southern Canadian Classic will be 2 weeks after
Yeah.
that. The 15th, 16th. And we're hoping for another strong attendance next year. So we've been building, consistently,
For
every
sure.
year with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
segue
no,
into
no,
that.
no worries. Well,
Nope.
actually,
Yeah.
before we get there, I just wanted to because we're going to talk a lot about the Southern Canadian Classic. I know Justin and I,
Mhm.
and DJ Gary, all the other podcasters too, who are in Ontario, love the Southern Canadian. It's a fantastic event. But before we get there, I just want to talk to you about gear training and your mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, like did you before you went to ASA, did you do any? I know you did. You just start shooting for Bowtech this year, or just start shooting at Bowtech this year, or was it
No.
2 years?
I've been with Bowtech for 3 years
3 years,
now.
okay.
This is my third year. This is my third year with Bowtech. Yeah. I've had the same, actually. Yeah, I've had my same reckoning for like 4 years now,
Wow.
and I just can't seem to let it go. That thing, that thing is just, it's got the magic sauce. I don't know what it is. I tried to replicate it with another bow, and it just doesn't feel the same. It's so funny how quirky, with the exact specs, exactly how everything is, and yeah, and it just can't seem to. Yeah, so it's a Bowtech Reckoning Gen 2 36, and I shoot it at 69 and a half pounds, and I typically run between 18 and a half and 20 pounds of holding weight. Yeah, that's how I like to. I use I've been using an Excel Achieve Pro sight the last couple of years, but I'm switching to black gold this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm switching to black gold. They have a pretty rock solid sight. So I'm still getting used to it. But anyway, yeah, as long as it holds my scope my scope in place, I don't care. Um, I use a true ball release, an executive, not executive. I'm sorry, an ultimate flex. That's what I'm using, as opposed to a hinge. I use a button. Um, Actually, 2 years ago, I shot your tournament. I believe it was your spring tournament. And I started the day using my hinge, and I was just kind of willing it to go off and punching it and just just pulling the shot off. It was inconsistent. I was all over the place, and I ended up shooting a 5, and then I just said, forget this. And for the second half, I switched to a button, and I shot like 24 up on your course using a button,
Wow.
and I had never really used a button before. I would only use buttons for my uphill shots because it had a shorter throat on it, so I'd only use a button then. So ever since then, I've been using a button. That's
Nice.
it. So yeah, command style release. I shoot Shrewd bars, a Shrewd scope with a 6 power duplex lens. That's Shrewd's new lens this year. It's absolutely amazing. I can see rings out to 45 yards. I can see bonus
crazy.
rings out to 45 yards, in the right lighting, even further in the right lighting. Shrewd RevX bars. I run 19 ounces in the front, and probably another 22, 23 combined with my V bars in the back.
Jeepers.
That's heavy.
Yeah. And it's heavy, but with 20 pounds of holding weight, you don't feel it really. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like there's a balance between everybody. Like you could have a ton of weight on your bow, and if you're only holding, 10 pounds at 90% let off or 85% let off, there's going to be a huge imbalance there.
Yeah.
But when you're when you're pulling back on a lot of weight, you need a lot of weight to counter that to slow your pin movement. So there's something to be said about having a balance, having that balance there, and whatever slows your pin down.
Right.
I shoot Easton arrows, Super Drive 25s. I've been running them for the better part of this past season. They are 387 grains. My bow is only going about 270 feet per second. But it's only because Tim Gillingham told me, actually. Anyway, my arrows are short too. They're 25 inches long, 140 grains up front, flex fletch quad X veins in the back with a 3-degree offset. And they come out of the bow like a corkscrew, and
Nice.
Not a corkscrew, but they spin like a propeller.
Yeah.
They spin. They're very, very forgiving.
They're nice looking.
And that's why I like them.
Yeah, they're really nice looking.
Yeah. I run them on my hunting arrows and
on.
everything. Yeah, they might be a little. People say, "Oh, they're loud." I'm like, okay. Well, by the time the deer hears it, the arrow's already through them, so it doesn't matter, right? But that's basically my 3D setup. I'm gonna try setting up a shorter axle-to-axle bow this year. Proven 34. I started working on it already. I believe I shot it at what was that last tournament? The Full Draw Cup there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I shot it at that last tournament. It's a really nice forest color. It's a cool looking bow.
It was cool.
And it just holds, man. It just points. Bowtech is supposed to be. Well, I hear whispers and rumors of they're launching a new target bow at the Vegas shoot, or in January or whenever. But I can't see how they're going to top the Reckoning. Just with its tunability and how it is. I can't. I don't know. Maybe a proven 36, maybe. I don't know. Instead of a proven 34. I don't know. But, yeah.
We'll wait and see, I guess.
We'll wait and see. That's it. Yeah.
So let's move on to the Southern Canadian. Just for my back, I've only been in the archery scene probably, there's a lot of people. COVID got me actually back into archery. Because I was when I was 16, I did a lot of archery and then didn't for a long time. Yeah, I'm 52 now. So, but anyways, when did it start? And how? What gave you the idea?
Originally we did it because local clubs here in Essex County. We used to have 3 clubs, and they were busy, and at shoots, you used to get 90 to 100 shooters, at some of these shoots. My brother used to tell me all about them. And, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was very popular. And it just everything just kind of petered off. Clubs are shutting down due to attendance, and, they'll get 7 people at a shoot, and the guys will work hard. You guys know all about it, setting up a course and working hard and doing that for 7 people, so, with my wife's help, we did our first Southern Canadian Classic in 2019, and it was a completely different format than what we're running now. It was mostly it was kind of like a novelty shoot, and we had some nice prizes, and it was a 2-day event, and it wasn't cumulative score, but just you could shoot it on Saturday and choose to drop your score on day 2 and shoot it again, or shoot a hunter setup on one day and then shoot your open class setup on day 2 if you want. So it was just fun, We did it, and we did it in conjunction with a local club. Just to raise, just to raise some popularity for them in the area, just to help them out. And then COVID happened, and then in 2023, we decided to have, an ASA shoot. And that was our first one. First real one. We had 99 competitors. We had Vortex as our title sponsor, which helped us a lot, immensely, and not to mention our other sponsors. And then, 2024 we had jumped to 149. And then this year we went to 174. So we've had some good growth every single year. And this year we had a lot of people, especially locally, that had other engagements that they couldn't make it. And, so we missed out on at least a dozen people that I know of alone, that couldn't make it, but I'm really it's looking optimistic for next year. We've got some exciting things coming, to which I don't really want to share.
That's
but
okay.
just,
yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait years. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So it gets bigger every year. And
Yes.
do you kind of have like a vision moving forward for the tournament, or is it
We do. Back, I don't know, my wife's not keen on it. My wife is my partner in this 100%. It wouldn't be what it is today without her. But she says the minute I can't remember everybody's first name, we need to stop, she said. So if it gets over, 200, 250 or whatever, that I can't remember people's name, I don't want to do it anymore. It's going to lose that personal feel,
right.
And I do agree, because our whole motto is that we think of our competitors not just as competitors, but as our guests, and if you think of it in that, and make sure our guests are having fun, whether they're seasoned professionals, like professional archers, or we've had a lot of first-time tournaments. First 3D shoot was a Southern Canadian Classic for some people. So, and they reported having fun. We had a whole family this year. They bought a camper to come to our event. You know what I mean? And they drove from Toronto, and it's flattering to us, and it's very important that those people have fun, and have a good experience, because create a good experience. We're not even focused on money. We're not even thinking about money, honestly. Money eventually it'll come, hopefully, because targets are expensive.
Oh yeah.
But it's okay, well, eventually we'll get our money back for targets or whatever. But it's the experience that people will not forget.
For sure.
Especially kids and first-time shooters, and especially kids. We've noticed our kids' attendance growing, which is really cool, and they're looking forward to it next year, and they're saying, "Oh, I can't wait till next year. I can't wait for this," But we don't want to disappoint them. If it gets too big and Carrie says, "Oh, I don't know anymore," I'm just gonna say, "Think about the kids, honey." We got that ace in the hole, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the shoot down, the kid shoot down is my favorite part of the part of the tournament. I love watching that. This year when you guys had you had the radio host there, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Cordell Green.
Yeah, he had those.
Yeah.
He was announcing those kids. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It must have made them feel like $1 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that, and then there's little things like that,
Yeah.
right? Like little things like that keep kids coming back and keep kids interested in it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You don't just send a kid on a 3D course where he's going to miss half the targets, and it's just he comes off the course, he's disheartened, and he doesn't want to go to the next one. Make him look forward. Like maybe there's a kid that got in 6th or 7th place this year and said, "Man, next year I'm going to work really hard out because I want to make that shoot down because I want to walk through that, under that trellis with all the neat little flags on it and stuff, like." So it's just little things like that, right? Like I think it makes us feel good too.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
It's a lot of work, but the work is very it's a good exhaustion at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, well, like Justin and I can attest to that for sure. Just when we put on an event like we had this year, we kind of picked on Wayne Woodcock a little bit.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he asked for it.
He did. Yeah. But you know what? Like he was flabbergasted. He was just like he loved it. And
absolutely.
It's like it's almost like a family, right? Like a nice community thing. And that's what I've been trying to create since I took over this club, is just that sort of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I tend to pontificate. I apologize for that to anybody on this who watches this. Like I find that we lack community as human beings nowadays. Most people don't even know their neighbors, right? So when I started this club, I was like, you know what? Like I love the sport. I meet a lot of people at the tournaments. I think most of them are decent people, and I enjoy talking to them. And why not create a community here of people who can just get together and
And you touched on something there, community. I think community is one of the most important parts of this whole thing. Have a sense of community, have a sense of people helping each other, shooting. I've never been a part of anything like that has such a good sense of community, willing to a willingness for people to help other people.
Yeah.
It's like I genuinely I'm happy to help either one of you. I tell people too that I've helped in the past, I want you to beat me. I want you to beat me. Like somebody said, you better stop teaching me, my friend Dean. You better stop teaching me. It's like I'm gonna end up beating your ass. I'm like, good. Like that'll just light a fire under me. That's what you need.
Exactly.
But yeah, a willingness to help people, a sense of community. And that's the other thing we really wanted to hone in on with the Southern Canadian Classic. And that's what makes that venue so special, because everything is so close.
Yeah.
You're not walking, a half a kilometer to your ranges or a kilometer to your ranges. Everything is within 300-400 yards, and the novelty courses around the camping area, and everybody kind of gets together, and a potluck and this and that and drinks and cornhole and everything at night. It's a great time.
Yeah, for sure. It's a party with a little archery event attached to it, basically.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
How does being a competitor influence how you design and run your tournament?
Obviously, I learn a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things in my years, competing, different target sets. Michigan is a brutal state for setting up 3D shoots. They are notorious for being long shoots, tricky shoots. So you don't want to, from a competitor standpoint. Yeah, I think of my peers that I compete with here in Ontario, and I say, okay, you know what, Dave McQuaker's really gonna hate this target set, but I'll make it extra special for him, or I'll put this Wolverine in this hollowed out log, that sort of thing. So. But there's a fine line between building a course, that challenges your better shooters or stronger shooters, but yet still makes it attainable for your first time shooters.
Right.
So, you really have to be cautious on how you design a course, really put a lot of thought, like, and we're not playing with a lot of real estate there where we host our event. So I try and play with lighting, as you both know. I try and play with lighting, try and play with shadows and shadows and work the targets with their natural, landscape, and because we're not very hilly at all here in Southern Ontario. It's mostly just flat, but you try and, play with fallen logs but still make shots makeable, so yeah. I still got a couple tricks up my sleeve for next year, but yeah.
Awesome. Like I said, I can't wait.
Mhm.
So, and then still in the sort of same vein as the Southern Canadian here. What's the most rewarding part for you? Is it hitting a 12 ring at ASA or watching someone at your event do it for the first time?
You know what? I love both of it. Like both of those things, right?
Yep.
Like Carrie and I love getting feedback from people, like saying, like, not necessarily even our friends that you would kind of expect them to say, hey man, great shoot, blah blah blah. But when you have somebody you've never met before and it was their first tournament or something, they said, oh, thank you so much for making my son feel welcome. He had such a great time, he's already asking when the date is for next year. Like, that's very
That's awesome.
That's very fulfilling. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, yeah. I look at the competitors in at the Southern Canadian Classic, and like, I am a big competitor at heart, and I'm like, man, I'd love to be in my shoot, but it's not feasible. It's not feasible, but like, I think about that, and that irks me, but I'm glad that everybody has fun, everybody's challenged and has a good time, and Carrie and I are thankful for that.
Yeah, we're grateful for you guys for putting that stuff on. So
Mm-hmm.
It was an absolute blast for shooting my first ASA tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I still got my scorecards right back behind my monitor, right here.
Nice.
Are you going back, Justin?
Oh, I'm going back next year.
Oh, good,
I'm going back every following consecutive year after.
Yeah, so keep all your scorecards and see how they stack up against year to year to year. So write down the year. This was 2024. I think, I don't know, or 2025. Did we put 2025 on the scorecards?
So yeah.
We might have. Yeah. You won that T-shirt at our shoot.
I did. It was given to me. That's right.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing on it.
All right. Okay. But all of our sponsors are on there and everything.
Yeah, all the sponsors are right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good man. Save those. Yeah. Those might be worth money one day, but Justin.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Keep plugging away.
That's the way you gotta do it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to I'm just gonna throw out a bunch of questions.
Sure.
Not gonna be long. Don't need long answers. Just some quick fire questions here.
Okay.
It's kind of like for fun. So
we
haven't tried that here yet on the letdown. So you're gonna be our experimental for this. So
I'll try not to let you down.
Okay. All right. Tim Gillingham, hero, villain, or mentor?
Misunderstood mentor.
Misunderstood mentor.
He's quite a polarizing figure. He's very opinionated, and he rubs people the wrong way. But you get to know the guy, wealth of knowledge, and he's got a good heart.
Awesome.
Very, very smart. Very smart. Very smart. And there's nobody. I don't know anybody that knows more about archery than that man.
Awesome.
All right. That's awesome. So if you could bring one ASA shooter to the Southern Canadian Classic, who would it be?
That's a good question. Wow. I'd have to think about that one, honestly. I think I would bring one of our, I think Randy Morocco. Randy Morocco, a super nice guy, very approachable, very sociable. I think I would bring him or Mike Hulbert Sr. You know,
Nice.
yeah, Levi Morgan is a very, very nice guy to talk to, you know, and he will talk to anybody, and I've seen him take time to talk to all kinds of people,
Yeah.
you know, but, you know, I feel like, you know, the senior guys are much more, you know, I feel like much more down to earth, you know, and they don't feel like they have all that pressure because they
Right.
don't care, you
Yeah.
know?
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hmm. Yeah.
One thing every archer should stop obsessing about.
One thing every archer should stop obsessing about. Spine. Arrow spine. My God. Stop obsessing about arrow spine and, oh, is this going to be too weak, or is it way too stiff, or this or that? Like, you know, you could tune that bow to any arrow pretty well. I shot a 500 spined arrow, 26.5 inches long with 150 up front, you know, pulling 72 pounds. I shot that for 2 years, a 500 spined arrow. So, and it tuned just fine, and it was forgiving. So, I don't know. Stop obsessing over spine.
Awesome.
That's, yeah.
What's your favorite target at your own event?
Favorite target at my own event? It would be one of two. There was the Black Panther on A range. That
I didn't
was
see him.
really, really dark, really dark, and
Wait.
kind of like there was moguls, and it was set up in front of a fallen log, and it was really, really dark. So you could see it through your binoculars, but then you pull up on your scope, and it just gives you a lesson in course management, that one.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think the Wolverine in the log, or
Yeah,
this
he
year
was
was
fun.
a Javelina, correct? Was it a Javelina or a Wolverine?
No, I thought it was the Wolverine still.
Okay, Wolverine in the log. Yeah,
I love
that
that
was
shot.
yeah. It's a sporty little 42-yard shot.
Yeah, it was a nice
Yeah.
shot.
I was
Yeah.
gonna.
And it was just slightly uphill.
I'll admit I was gonna
Yeah.
steal that shot, but I decided better of it. So
That tree, fun fact, that is a birch log from a tree that fell in my yard.
Nice.
Okay, this was in my yard, that tree, okay? And I picked it up with a tractor that I borrowed from my buddy, and I carted it all the way from my house to the venue, which is a mile and a half away. So I placed it there
okay.
in such a way. So that's how, you know, that's how my mind works.
That's how cruel you are.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Yeah. That's a fun fact. But anyway.
So last but not least, who's the bigger perfectionist, you or Carrie, your wife?
Carrie by far. Yeah. Carrie by far. Yeah. She ensures that there's pickled onions at lunchtime, you know, which sets us apart. She ensures that, you know, I can't even tell you, you know, all the little things that it's such her role in our event is such a thankless one, because everybody comes up to me, oh, great course, great job, Bruno, you know, because I cut the lanes, I put the targets in, and set up the tent and stuff. But it's all these little things that Carrie does that, you know, without her, it would be just another tournament.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be an event.
Yeah.
It would just be a tournament, you know, and it wouldn't run as smooth, you know. And if you ask her, I know she would say, no, she goes, no, there's some things we need to improve next year. It wasn't smooth. It was kind of, it was choppy, and it was this. But it's kind of like, you know, you see the duck on the top of the water. It looks all calm, but the legs are going like 100 miles an hour, you know, under the water. That's how we were all weekend. But yeah, no. And I give her all the credit. So she's the way bigger perfectionist than I am, you know, but I stopped questioning her. I stopped questioning. I just say, yes, honey, I just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When she says something. Yeah.
Well, yeah. She says she figures a pickled onion, someone's gonna be upset. I can tell you that much. I will be for sure.
Yeah. So now she's gonna yell at me. She can say, well, now I got to make pickled onions for sure next year. Yeah. But
so
anyway.
So 2025 has been a pretty big year for you, Bruno. What's next?
2026. For my personal ASA career, I want to make at least 2 shoot downs. make it to the dance at least twice. That's my goal. I was 10th in shooter of the year this year in my class.
Wow, that's
And
good.
and I
That's
want
awesome.
I want top 5 this coming year, and I want to make at least 2 shoot downs. So I'm gonna put in even more work, and I have some new things I want to work on, which I'm excited about in my training, and yeah, some kind of things I developed in the last part of the year that I want to keep working on, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I just hope the weather is. I hope we get a nice mild winter that I can keep using my range outside. If I can have that, even if it's cold, like I was shooting in February this past year, and I'd go and shoot for 15 minutes, shoot 5-6 rounds, like rounds of like I'll set 3 targets out or 4 targets. I'll shoot 4 or 5 times, and then my fingers start to get numb, so I come inside the house, warm up for 20 minutes, and then go back out and finish my round. So I find those breaks are good because, we shoot at like 7 a.m. typically, or 7:30 a.m. in the ASA, so you don't have a lot of time to warm up. It's still dark, and you're at the bags, they set up these lights and stuff like that, or let alone going on the practice range, like the 3D practice range. But yeah. Anyway, that's my goal.
Awesome.
I want to keep grinding.
Well, yeah, I'll be cheering you on for sure, dude. Definitely.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like Valley and I, we were definitely tracking as you were out there. So, and that I know I did see you holding, or you were at the shoot down, but you were with Randy. You were kind of holding his umbrella there. So I know that feeling very well because
yeah,
I hold a lot of umbrellas.
Yeah. 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 Your form is amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Randy actually, like, it was funny. You think a guy like Randy Morocco, but I don't know if he's whatever. I don't care if he listened, but he said to me, like, I'm like, what are you thinking right now? He says, I'm nervous. And I said to him, I'm like, you're Randy Morocco. Like, you don't get nervous. You're Randy. I said, you're Randy effing Morocco. That's what I said to him. And he's like, and then after the shoot, he goes, thank you. He says, thank you for that pep talk at the beginning. He says, that really helped me. And he climbed from like 4th to 2nd.
Wow.
Nice.
And because he's a very conservative shooter, right? And I'm like, no, you need to gun for that 14. He's like, you need to, and he doesn't see. He can't see the rings. He just aims for a general area. I'm like, if that dude could see the rings, he'd be absolutely dangerous, But anyway,
I know that.
Sorry, I'm blathering on.
No, I know blathering on. That's what you're here for, is to blather on.
Yeah. You've met your match, man.
Well, if you watch episode 2 or episode 3, we had Valerie on, and I don't think Justin, Misha, or I got a word in edgewise.
And then we had Chris Priester and
Chris Priester too.
And he's good at talking as well.
Both teachers, so you can imagine. So.
Well, they talk for a living.
Nice. Yeah.
So, bro, what's your definition of success now? Is it trophies, experience, community, all 3?
Yeah. Experience. I think experience, success, experience. Yeah. Just leveling up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a good video game. Leveling up in every aspect too. Like I really wish success with our event, with the Southern Canadian Classic, and we got to keep building on it. And keep. And I don't want it to, like, I don't want to say I don't want it to be bigger, but I don't, like, I'm with Carrie a little bit there, that I don't want to lose that feel too, and I want it to be better. Like just better. Not like, I want people to have more fun. I don't just want it to be a giant shoot, a giant tournament, like I can go to an ASA and be a part of 2,400 people, but it's a lot of people, a lot of humanity, and it's run like a military operation, but if you're not at your stake, you're not at your stake. Nobody's babysitting, nobody's chasing you, but if somebody's not at their stake at the Southern Canadian Classic, you're gonna say, hey, there's only 3 on that stake. Go find out. And then it's a mad panic to find out who's missing.
Yeah.
That might have to start changing next year, you know. But
I know that.
anyway.
I know those feelings for sure. You know what's really hard about these events for me personally? It's like how do you give enough but not too much, right? You kind of I think Josh Webb said it best. He's like, you gotta let them leave wanting more. You know what I mean? So when they leave that tournament, they want to come back because of, and then it's hard to get. It's like there's a je ne sais quoi there that I think for us people come back because we're fun. We make everyone feel welcome. That's why they come back, right? But it's the shoot is the shoot. Justin has done when he sets up the targets, he's got a real passion for it. He's done a really good job at it. He's getting better every time. He's getting a lot more help. That's always good. But
that's great.
I think that's the hardest thing. And for me too, it's I know all other things in life, like when people tell me negative things, it really gets me. But when I'm doing these tournaments, like someone says something negative, I'm like, you know what, like a positive when I do these tournaments outweighs a negative. Whereas in life, like the negative always the positive. And I find I like once in a while someone will have a remark about whatever, and I'll be like, okay, whatever, dude, you don't know how much work I put into this, you don't know that. I think I've talked to Carrie about this as well. Like people don't realize, like for me it's like my baby, man. We put this together, we all get together, and you know that feeling.
Absolutely.
You're just you love it, right? So anyways,
see, to your point of have people leave wanting more, there's a fine line there between like good enough, and if you say good enough to carry, that doesn't fly. No, it's not good enough. If it's good enough, she doesn't want to be a part of a good enough event. She said. So if you strive for perfection, strive for it. Okay, you might not necessarily hit it, but you're trying, and it doesn't. One negative comment. You take it from a person, you get a negative comment from a person that historically, complains about frickin' everything, and I take that with a grain of salt, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you complained because so-and-so, so-and-so said this and this and this or whatever. I don't care what it was. Okay, he's a chronic complainer, this guy.
Yeah.
But you have a screw up like a screw up or something like that, and that's what you remember. You'll remember a screw up, or you'll remember a botched lunch, or waiting an hour for something, or waiting waiting too long for shoot downs or something. Like you remember that, like at the Nationals, in 2024, we waited like 5 hours for our group to have our shoot down, and
it's a long day.
It's a very, very long day. So, and you just, you want to keep things moving and still keep things fresh, keep people interested.
Yeah.
You don't want people sitting around wondering what's going on next,
Yeah.
And like I said, sometimes good enough is good enough, but we're trying for more. And I think that's what sets you apart from other events. And it's not just a tournament, it's an event, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm like Carrie. I'm a perfectionist. I gotta have it, and these guys can all attest to that. I've behind the scenes, even at the FDCC behind the scenes, like if it doesn't run smooth, it'll drive me crazy. So if someone forgets to bring 50-50 tickets, or if someone drops the ball on this or that, and it's like, some people don't even care. I'm like, guys, it's just something, something simple, something little. They're like, oh, we'll just learn the next time. And it's like, no, we should learn this time and get it right. And because for me, it's like, this guy's come out, he's paying his whatever, he's paying his $25 or whatever, and I want to give him a show. You know what I mean? So
you could have a great a great shoot, a great course layout, a great setup and everything, but if you have no toilet paper in the shitters, that's what they're going to remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's just something stupid like that.
Exactly.
Or if the water's, maybe you got no ice in the water, or like it's just silly things like that could kind of sour an event. I won't say ruin, but sour.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So, as is the tradition of this show, we usually end off with not really a worst moment, but kind of like a letdown for this year and what you kind of learned from it and how you've kind of grown from.
Okay, a letdown. A letdown. I recently had a letdown, hunting. I took a shot at a beautiful buck, and I think some buck fever got a hold of me, and I didn't take the time I needed, I made a bad shot on a deer, and I didn't get a chance to recover it. That would be my letdown, and yeah, I learned from it to just, calm down and use some of the mental management I've learned throughout the last couple of years, and everything went out the window. I saw that giant rack and giant body, and I'm like, here we go, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I never want to lose that excitement.
Yeah.
Even, when a whitetail shows up, just out of respect for that animal, but I did not pay that animal the respect it deserved by taking the shot I did, and I very much regret that, and that is my letdown. That's my letdown for sure.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big letdown. So yeah. And Downer Debbie here now.
No, I know. It's like you learn from it, right? You're going to take that. You're going to take that second or take that breath or whatever you need to do, just because we all get it. We all get buck fever. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I've been guilty of it in the past.
I kind of take solace in the fact, not solace really, but when you bow hunt as much as I do, these things are going to happen, and you just kind of have to, pay respect to the animal and do right by it and make a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
You owe it to it. It's not just about making a good shot to harvest the animal, but you owe it to them to make a good shot. And I didn't do that last time. So yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I think I always like how I'd say this too. There's a lot of people who don't hunt. They don't understand. Like, we're not just cold-hearted killers, man. It really hurts us when we, if we miss a shot or if we hurt something or whatever, right? Like, you always want clean, and it doesn't always happen. So, and
sometimes it's messy, but you think of the life that a caged animal has.
Yeah, exactly.
A caged animal has, a factory farming, and what kind of life, have they had? And you also think even a bad archery shot on an animal is a better death than coyotes.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Being eaten alive, like, so show them, you say somebody hating on bow hunters or whatever, show them a video of, the 3 or 4 or 5 hours it takes for coyotes to take down a mature animal.
Yep.
Man, it's ugly.
It is
ugly.
Very ugly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Bruno, wanted to thank you for coming on the show, and if you could just hang out for a bit, we'll I'll press stop on the record button here, but we'll just have a little chat, and thanks again. Like, really appreciate it. It was great to have you on. It was good. It was good.
All right.
Well,
anytime, boys. Like, I'm happy to chat with you guys, and always have fun going to Royal City and hanging out with you guys. And you guys are doing a great job over there, and you guys need to keep it up. Okay, you guys are, like, I believe you guys to be the best club in Ontario. So whether that's laying the gauntlet down for other people listening right now, but you guys are putting in the work, and it absolutely shows. And I'd like to speak for 3D archers in Ontario, and we appreciate it. So thank you. Keep it up, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.